Well, welcome everyone to this week's Wednesday web chat. This is Carl Lewis, your host most of the time, and I am still in my office, so I'm here again this week. This week we're really privileged to have friends of ours from Third Wave presenting, and so we have Gopal from Third Wave talking to us today about how to take control of your SAP Business One environment using the Advanced Productivity Pack from Third Wave. The only announcement I've got this week is, of course, that the ASUG SAP Business One Summit is coming up. It's right around the corner in Anaheim. There are over 400 people already registered to be there, and you should make every effort to be there if you haven't registered already. If you need to know how to do that, please contact me. It's just carl.lewis@vision-33.com, and I will help you in every way I can. Gopal, welcome, and glad you could join us this week, and you'll be back again next week with another edition, talking about another product from Third Wave. We turn the session over to you now, and listen attentively to your presentation today.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Carl. I really appreciate the opportunity. Good morning, everybody. As Carl said, I'm here to basically give you a peek into our Advanced Productivity Pack product. And again, the title is really apt, even though I don't want to focus on any a small functionality because of the Advanced Productivity Pack. The reason I titled this session, How to Take Control of Your Business One Environment, is because we offer you, as part of the Advanced Productivity Pack, 3 to 4 major modules that really touches various aspects of Business One, and the key is to make your lives easier as you're using Business One and gain insight into your business information and enable customer service. All right, so let's get started here. Before we go into the product details, I just wanted to give you a little bit of information about Third Wave Business Systems. We've been an SSP partner since 2003. We are a gold certified partner. We've won several SAP Business One awards. All our solutions are certified solutions. And as I mentioned, the highest award we have won is the Pinnacle Award from SAP for Global Innovation. So, and Advanced Productivity Pack as a product has over 500 customers across the globe. So this is what you're seeing today is by no means new functionality. It's been the product has been around for about 8 years now, and we continue to keep enhancing and adding more features to the product all the time. So I won't bore you with PowerPoint. I would much rather show you real live demo scenarios. But just before I'll just show you this PowerPoint slide, and before we head right into the demo, just to give you an overview of the Advanced Productivity, the functionality you get with Advanced Productivity Pack. Let's start first with our Customizer module. This is the module that this is the module in Advanced Productivity Pack that enables you to customize Business One to suit your requirements. And just a quick bullet-pointed list of what you can do with it. You can move user-defined fields from the site